Hello Potato and welcome to Just Add Water Wednesday, where today we're trying something from a brand I am not previously familiar with, and that is Jayone with Tteokguk Korean rice cake soup. Traditional Korean soup enjoyed by Koreans for centuries. Product of Korea, ready in 3 minutes. 3 minutes, you've read it there. Now, did I mispronounce that name? Very probably, but no one's corrected. I think I'm good with the tuk part because I really like tteokbokki. So you tell me there's rice cakes and something, and I'm interested. Obviously, it's not going to taste anything like tteokbokki because it's not going to be spicy. I wouldn't imagine. It doesn't say it is. And the image on top here, like, is spring onion and looks like maybe seaweed and I don't know, is that burdock root maybe? No, burdock's like brown, isn't it? I don't know what that is. Let's get some. We do have some hints here. Ingredients are rice cake, rice salt, ethyl alcohol, chicory fiber. Is that chicory maybe? I suppose. Rice bran, citric acid, soup base, vegetable cream powder. So it's going to be kind of a cream. We've got some corn syrup in there, of course. So, it is made for the US market, even if it is made in Korea. Onion powder, dried onion. Leek powder, or is that leek maybe? Or is that leek maybe? Black pepper, seaweed flakes. Okay, we do have some seaweed in there. So maybe that's chicory. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that's what I hopefully will figure it out by that point. I tried chicory in coffee before and I don't care for it. It says 340 calories, 7 grams protein, and 60% of your daily sodium. So that's kind of right in line with standard Just Add Water Wednesday fare. Now, one neat thing about this, a lot of Just Add Water stuff, I think play fast and loose with, in that it needs to be microwaved, or in the case of some things like the tteokbokki and the noodle tteokbokki, needs to actually be done on the stove top, although I am still just adding water. But this one actually is the core soul of the Just Add Water Wednesday idea, which is you just add water. No microwaving it, no ovens, no stoves. You just put in water and let her rip. Put rice cake and soup base in bowl, pour hot water until indicated line, close lid, wait 3 minutes, stir, and enjoy. Best before date printed on package is the 19th of November of this year. So I've got a few months. Hope it's good because I did pick this up at my local my local warehouse club store. So I have like 8 of them. Or 10 of them, or 9 more of them, like 7 or 9 more of them. So hopefully this is good. But let's check it out. Let's open it up and check it out. Store in a cool, dry place. Moisture absorbing packet contained inside. Do not eat. Inside the rice cake pouch. So I don't see anywhere on this. Is it vegetarian? Is it J1 Foods is in Paramount, California? I'm trying to think if this is a lot of times when these things are. Look at that rice cake. That looks pretty good. When these things are like vegetarian or vegan, they usually like put on it and like symbols all over saying it's vegan, it's vegetarian, it's kosher, it's halal, and this doesn't seem to say any of that stuff. Although, I don't. Well, so it's got egg flakes, so it's definitely not vegan. Indeed, it says contains egg milk and soybean and wheat. So it definitely isn't vegan. It's not whatever. The gluten-free, it's not gluten-free. I guess, can rice cake be gluten-free? Isn't that kind of part of the selling point of rice cake, is that it's like glutinous? I don't know. I am ignorant on that point. So we have in here our rice cake. So yeah, obviously not your tteokbokki rice noodle type. So I'm guessing tuk must actually mean rice cake or rice clump. Because tteokbokki, tteokguk. We've got our seasoning packet. So it is a powdered seasoning. So let's we just pour everything in here and add water, right? I have to go grab the water, of course, but pour hot water to the indicated line. Rice cake in soup base in bowl. It's not a boat. I guess it could be a boat if you float it in water. There's like moisture inside the rice cake. Maybe it's just oil. Maybe, oh, you know, it's probably that ethyl alcohol. It said there's like ethyl alcohol in there, right? Preservative purpose. It's probably ethyl alcohol that I'm seeing in there. Because otherwise, I mean, I'm not seeing any mold or anything. Feels nice and stiff. Let me get it open. There's a little tear thing there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it does actually help. You know what? We have a box cutter here for a reason. I'm guessing that is the Korean for tear here, but it ain't working for me. Maybe because I don't understand Korean. All right. Well, should be enough to get our stuff out. Yeah, that's alcohol. I can smell it when I smell the bag. Smells of alcohol and rice. Like almost like rubbing alcohol, not like drinking alcohol. Don't eat this. You get a generous amount of rice cake in there, I think. I mean, I guess because you're not getting normal noodles. It's not a ramen. So here is our seasoning packet. Take a look at that. It's very, very white and creamy looking, kind of cheesy looking. Makes you think of like those Knorr seasoning packets. Ooh, smells peppery. Black pepper, like, and maybe almost like cheese, but I don't think there's any cheese in the ingredients. But I definitely can smell the black pepper. It's got a little bit of finger here. Let's try it. Salty. It reminds me of chicken and a biscuit. What is in here? Vegetable oil, whey powder, corn syrup, whey protein powder. I mean, I guess there probably is no actual chicken and a biscuit. But yeah, that's like instantly the flavor that I think of is like, it tastes like the powder on a chicken and a biscuits. And I just made a mess. So our seaweed flake. Off of here. All right, I do need to go grab the water. It smells very peppery, but it doesn't I didn't really taste pepper, at least not on one I had on my finger there. But it smells very peppery. And yeah, the taste reminds me of chicken and a biscuit. All right, I'm gonna go grab some boiling hot water. I'll be right back. Take the trash with me. Okay, I've got my kettle fresh off the boil here. And yes, that's just a fill to fill line, right? Which I'm assuming is that line right there. Pour water into the line, put on lid, and give it 3 minutes. So let's fill her up. And then we will, oh, it's like yellow in there. I guess that's maybe the corn powder? Or maybe that's the chicory fiber, probably. I didn't taste anything that tasted like chicory coffee in that little dab, but I didn't get any little green or yellow specks either. All right, so lid on, very hot, cook it for 3 minutes, and I'll be right back. Meet you 3 minutes from now. Okay, our 3 minutes are up. Let's check out our Tteokguk Korean rice cake soup from Jayone. It says just to stir and enjoy. So let's see if we can do that. All right, so it's I did fill up right to the line. You can still see the line there at the very top. It doesn't seem to have gone down much. I kind of thought that maybe the noodles would absorb more of that liquid, but they don't appear to have. Because, you know, like ramen, sometimes that happens. They'll absorb a lot of the liquid. Just this pour hot. I want to make sure actually, because I did boiling water, or just off the boil water. I boiled water in the kettle. And I want to make sure it actually didn't say there was like some specific amount you were supposed to boil it to. Let's get us some broth and a sliver of rice cake and give it a sniff. It smells much less strong now that it's, I guess that's diluted, but that it's cooked. I can smell, I think, the onion a little more. I can smell the green onion in it. The pepper is not the dominant scent anymore. It doesn't really smell like chicken and a biscuit either. Well, let's give it a try. And there is a piece of rice cake in there. You just can't see it. Well, the rice cake is nice and chewy. I know, I just can't get past, the broth does taste like a little chickeny to me. which is weird because it's not chicken listed anywhere in it. That time less so. That time it's more just kind of creamy. Or maybe the yellow stuff is the egg flake. Is the yellow stuff the egg flake? Can we get just like a little bit of the yellow stuff? I was thinking that's the chicory, but texture-wise, I mean, there's not very much of it there to try. But texture-wise, I do think that might be egg flake. So I don't taste anything that tastes like, the flavor I associate with chicory coffee. To be fair, that is still predominantly coffee. I get the aroma of the onions. Flavor-wise, though, it is mostly, I guess, just mostly creamy. I don't know why I got like chicken off that first one. Probably just because I still had chicken and a biscuit in my head from trying it on its own. It's not bad. It's certainly inoffensive. I do wish it had some spice, but I mean, it didn't. Nowhere on it does it say that it's spicy. So that's just my own personal preferences coming into play. So yeah, there's our rice cake. It's kind of slivered or sliced instead of the usual tteokbokki little tubes, although not really tubes, are they? Because they're not hollow. But they cook up nice and chewy, not overly done, not undercooked. I mean, for my taste anyways. On their own, they don't absorb much of the flavor from the soup. But, I mean, if you like that texture, if you like that rice cake texture, it feels a little different than, say, in tteokbokki, where it's that, thicker, chewier texture. This is still very chewy, still very mochi-like, but it's obviously quite a bit thinner than what you get in tteokbokki. I think it doesn't make much of the flavor on its own, and it's a thin broth that doesn't really coat. But it's not bad. I assume you are meant to eat this with a spoon just because I don't know how else you're going to get the rice cake and the broth in the same bite, just because it doesn't really stick to the rice cake at all. It's a very, very, very thin broth, and I am reasonably sure I didn't screw that up because it was to the fill line. You saw that when we opened it. It was to the fill line, so I don't think I made a mistake on that. But honestly, it could maybe do with a little less water, just because the broth is a little thin. I mean, not thin so much as watery, but it is. I mean, thin as in it's a very light flavor. I just personally like stronger flavored things. But it's still pretty good. It's a nice light creamy flavor with the chew of the rice cake. Yeah, I mean, objectively, I have no complaints. I mean, personally, yeah, I would prefer some spice in there. Maybe a little bit stronger flavor. But again, I think that could be accomplished just by putting in less water. I mean, obviously you don't want to go too little because you want, first of all, it's a soup, not a sauce. But second, you want to make sure that those tteokbokki get hydrated properly. Yeah, it's not as peppery. I mean, I can feel some of the pepperiness on my tongue, but it's not as peppery as it smelled. It's much more oniony, but not overpoweringly oniony, not offensively oniony. Oniony. It's not overboard with the onion, but I would say that is probably the dominant flavor in our broth. I mean, not bad. I could definitely see taking these to work if I didn't have any tteokbokki available, and I hadn't planned out stuff for a lunch for the day. 3 minutes with the boiling water and it's ready to go. So it's a good quick lunch for work. I don't ultimately know how filling that's going to be, but flavor-wise, it's quite nice. I really have no complaints that don't boil down 100% to personal preference, which is just that it could do with a little bit of spice. But I can fix that by adding some chili oil to it. That's not a problem, and I may do that. But that is pretty darned good. That was a good gamble. And I'm glad it was a good gamble because I do have, again, like 7 or 9 more of these. I don't remember if it was an 8-pack or a 10-pack, but I have a lot more of them. So I'm glad that I like them. So with nothing more constructive here to say and my soup getting cold, I'm going to go and finish my lunch now. That was Jayone Tteokguk Korean rice cake soup. 3 minutes. All you do is add water. No microwaving, no ovening. It's pretty darn acceptable. It's not spicy. It's a little bit of pepperiness. There is a lot of onioniness, but not to the point of being like offensively overpowering. And it's just a nice kind of little oniony vegetable soup flavor with rice cake. So I hope you found this at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, go ahead, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.